There we are. Ah, now we've just got to poke the corners out, and then we're going to press and top stitch. Get my trusty needle back again. You can use the slightly sharper end for this, but you've got to be very gentle or you'll push through. There we are. And we're going to press it. Very satisfying pressing is. It makes everything look much smarter. There we are. Right, now we're going to top stitch just as we did on the straps, 1/2 centimetre from the edge and round the bottom, which I'll show you when we get there. This is the easy fun bit that I enjoy. Now we're coming to the sewn across end of the belt. If you stop 1/2 centimetre before the end and then pivot the work round and sew across the end and up the other side. I'll show you as we go. Okay. Right. Stop now with the needle in. Lift the foot, turn it round, sew across the end, stop 1/2 centimetre, turn it round, and back up the other long side at great speed. There we are, that's finished and ready to be attached to the dress. Ends neatly snipped off. Right, now we're going to prepare and sew on the pocket. Here's the pocket. First we have to turn under and press 1 centimetre all around the edge and snip the corners slightly to make them lie flat, and then we make a hem along the top and then we attach it, but we'll do it bit by bit. Right, before we start, I'm going to make a few snips. They must only be 1/2 centimetre long round the curve, which will make it much easier to fold over and not get funny little series of straight lines otherwise. So just 1/2 centimetre and just round the curve and about 1 centimetre apart. So that's just about 5 snips round the 2 curved corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, now we'll get the iron going. Be quite careful not to burn your fingers. It's best to do as much ironing as possible on the wrong side. The fabric marks less and that doesn't make the print sticky. Right, that's the seam allowance neatly ironed under. Now I'm going to do the hem along the top. 1/2 centimetre, then 1 centimetre. 1/2 centimetre first. And then we're going to turn it over 1 centimetre and press and machine. And the next thing I'm going to do while I've got the pocket on the ironing board is to fold it in half and just iron the fold line, because that will help us position it onto the dress. And then I will do the same on the dress, right sides together, just press a crease down the centre. And then I'll show you how to attach the pocket. Not absolutely necessary, but it's just one of those things that over the years seem worthwhile. Right, so I'm now going to machine a hem along the top, 1 centimetre from the edge. And away we go. Now you can position your pocket on the front of the dress, lining up the center fold of the pocket to the center line of the dress. You can either put it higher or lower to suit your own preference. I suggest, for me, about 38 centimeters from the top is good. And so that's just a little bit below this dragonfly. We need some pins. We will machine the center, down the center first. I'll put a couple of pins in either side that can stay there while we machine. Working from the center outwards, I put a few pins in there and then round the edges, keeping this tucked under. As the pocket's got a very strong feature of the dress, it's well worth, I think, tacking it on using a contrasting coloured thread and big stitches, which you take out after you've done the machining. Especially useful around the curve, where it tends to pop out again, even though you've ironed it.
Right.
When you're pinning it, it's important that the pocket is slightly looser than the dress underneath, so you don't get a gathered up dress. You get instead a slightly bulgy pocket, like that. Now we're ready to machine it on, and we're going to do 2 rows of machining, one on the very edge, as near to the edge as you can do it, and then one 1/2 centimetre in. And here it's really important to do a few back stitches off the top of the pocket, actually onto the dress, because if you're constantly getting things in and out of your pockets, you're very likely to break the sewing. And in fact, the first seam I'm going to do is this center one. Right, away we go. Right, we're starting with the center seam, remembering to sew a few back stitches. It really is important on this pocket. Right, now we're going to sew around the edge of the pocket as close as possible to the edge. Here we go, a few back stitches, going just off the top and onto the dress, and then away we go forward, slowly and carefully as we go. We're getting to the end on the other side, and we're going to remember to sew just over the end and then back stitch. Now we snip the ends. And we take the pins and the tacking out next. There we are, a nice neat pocket. Now we're going to do the second row of top stitching, just to finish it off nicely, and it also makes it nice and strong as well.
Keep going if you can.
I can't. I'm going backward.